Hey, my Liptons. So, this topic kind of came out of the blue because I was having a conversation with a friend and we were discussing like the hoopla around the Dahmer series on Netflix and everything like that. And I was discussing like the nuances and all those different things with her. And obviously I was also looking at the reaction on social media and seeing what people had to say. And as far as like the general public's like consumption of, true crime, serial killers, just, even like regular everyday crime, that we watch on TV, or that we watch the documentaries and that sort of thing. So obviously there was a lot of backlash on the Dahmer series. And obviously there's certain things where it's like I agreed with some of the backlash, because it was just like there were certain things that I agreed with, and there was other things where I didn't agree with, as far as like some of the people were saying online as when it came to the Dahmer series. So the main thing that people were discussing and what they were saying online, as far as like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, is that we have I guess you can say, true crime, like fetishization. Like it seems like the public has like a sort of like unhealthy consumption of true crime, right? And I found that to be very interesting, right? I found that to be very interesting because, because here's the thing. Two things can be true at the same time, right? So for me, I was watching true crime and documentaries and series like that when I had cable, right? When I had cable. So this was during the days where it was like you had to switch the channels. Like you had to go to channel, because I had Optimum, right? I believe it was like channel 181 or something. Like you had to go to the ID Discovery channel to go and watch it, right? Because I think for me and my family, it was a thing where it's like, okay, like, there's just like one of those days where it's like you have nothing to watch, so let me just go to the crime channel, let me see what's going on. Because when you hear stories, or especially if it's like a true story, right? If it's like a true story and it's something terrible, especially when it's something like you never witnessed before, or it's something that hasn't affected you personally, but it's something that has affected somebody else, or somebody else you never knew. So you just want to know that story and how this happened, and like the backstory and that sort of thing. That's what intrigue does. So I was watching true crime when I was like in my youth, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger. And I've been watching it, and I still watch it to this day, right? Like I literally have like the ID Discovery app on my laptop. Like anytime I get free time, I'll watch some true crime documentaries or series. My favorite is Paula Zahn. I just like the way how she communicates, right? So this is something that I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, right? So no pun intended. So for me, when I heard that a Dahmer series was coming out, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I'll see what's going on. And obviously I knew about the Jeffrey Dahmer story because it's been retold. So, but then I obviously saw the backlash on social media, because people were saying that, oh, y'all just have like y'all like to glorify and amplify serial killers. You guys have an unhealthy obsession with them. You guys have a fetish for them. How many times does the Jeffrey Dahmer story have to be told? And let me say this when it comes to that. When people say things like that, as far as like how many serial killer stories have to be told, as much as possible. Okay? As much as possible. But as far as like the backlash when it came to the Jeffrey Dahmer series, because I will say this, Netflix was definitely wrong for not informing the victims' families that they were doing this series. Because I don't understand how they were able to, inform or even let the people who were affected by those true crimes, they were able to get them involved in the series. Like, for instance, the Richard Ramirez documentary, the John Wayne Gacy, the girl in the picture. Like, they were able to get the police officers. They were able to get so many people to discuss things. But it's like, you guys couldn't do the same for this series. I'm confused. So in that instance, yes, I agree. Netflix was dead wrong, and I hope that they reach out to those families and Ryan Murphy and all them. They apologize to the victims' families. So, but I think for me, apart from that, I personally see no reason why people were upset in that situation. I have a bias because I'm someone that has been watching true crime for a long time. But I also do think, two things can be true at the same time. Is there a thing where we as a society are sort of having this weird, like, obsession with true crime? Because, like I said, this is when I was, I used to go to cable, go to channel 181 to go watch the thing. And then I noticed, especially in the 2020s-ish, I noticed, YouTubers, like, started to do true crime commentary on YouTube. Like, you have the Bailey Serum, I forgot, I don't know her last name, Serum, sorry if I, butcher her name. You have this, like, murder mystery commentary, makeup YouTubers talking about, crimes and serial killers while doing their makeup. So I noticed that. I noticed this like 2 years ago. I noticed that there was like sort of like a trend on YouTube. Now you have like celebrities, like, and you know how celebrities are. Anytime they see something that is like popular or like regular normal people are, kind of making their own money with it, celebrities always want to have their hand in the pot. It's the same thing. Like, they've been doing this for a long time. When it comes to makeup, when it comes to skincare, anything like that, anytime they see normal people doing it, they want to put their hand in the cookie jar as well. Kim Kardashian, I found out recently, started her own true crime podcast talking about true crime. And I'm just like, girl, what? Anyway, that's a whole different topic. What I will say, it seems like, not to say it wasn't always mainstream, but it seems like true crime is starting to become like mainstream. Like, it's something where it's like all different demographics, like celebrities, like everybody wants their hand in the pot when it comes to true crime, right? And once things become mainstream, it becomes overrated, and then it becomes to a point where it's like, here comes like the articles, here comes like, oh my God, like our society has an obsession with this, our society has a this with that, our society likes to romanticize, this and that, so it does bring up the conversation of, does our society romanticize true crime? Now, to hit back at some, because in a way, I have to like defend as far as like the people who do enjoy true crime, because I'm someone that does enjoy true crime documentaries and series. I will say this, because, you know, people like to blame it on like, you know, social media and like mainstream media and that sort of thing. But we need to be honest. If you look back in the 70s, in the 80s, like the serial killers, when they were really like popping up, like 70s, 80s, 90s, like that was when the serial killers were heavy. Okay? Are we gonna really pretend that like when Ted Bundy and Richard Ramirez, when they got arrested for their crimes, are we gonna sit here and pretend like there weren't women all over America freaking drooling over them, saying that they were too pretty to commit the crimes? Go look it up. Go look it up. There were literally women sending naked nudes and pictures of themselves back in those days to Ted Bundy and Richard Ramirez while they were locked up. This is when they got caught for doing their crimes. Saying that, oh my God, they're so cute, they're so beautiful, they're so handsome. Oh no, they couldn't have done that. They couldn't have killed those people. They're just too beautiful. Oh my God, they got the wrong person. Or they'll justify it. Literally. And honestly, I was shocked to hear that. Because it's just like, what? Like, there are people who romanticize, even Charles Manson. Charles Manson, there are people, men who feel like Charles Manson was like a cool person. Oh yeah, he was a badass. He was this. Like, these are killers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this whole like, oh my God, we're romanticizing serial killers. Like, that's what I saw online. We're romanticizing serial killers. We've always romanticized serial killers. Social media or no social media. They've been doing this. Yeah, is it weird? Is it crazy as hell? Do those people need help? Absolutely. I think people who romanticize or like fall in love with a serial killer or think that serial killers are handsome and trying to say, oh my God, they couldn't have done it. Those people need serious help. They need to go to therapy or something to figure out their low self-esteem and self-worth. But we're not going to blame this on like social media and that sort of thing, because it's like, because I did notice that like there were people who were also romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer after the Dahmer series came out. And obviously those people were stupid, but they were like, oh my God, you see what this series has done? It has made people try to romanticize serial killers. And I'm just like, people have been romanticizing serial killers. That's the thing. Before social media, before all this, had there not even been like, had that not, like, I promise you, I bet there were people that were romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer when he got caught at the time. So, you know, so I don't think this is like a social media thing, or it's like, oh my God, the mainstream media is just, you know, and I was like, yes, you know, does the mainstream media also contribute to an effect to the, you know, glorification of this stuff? Yes. But at the end of the day, people are gonna people. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna make stupid decisions. People are gonna say stupid things. You know, you do have the sane, like-minded people where, and I do feel like it's the majority of people that will feel like, no, this person, like, these serial killers, like, these people who commit crimes are terrible people. And obviously you're gonna have that one sect. And I feel like it's a very low sect. I feel like it's the minority of people, obviously, who just say the most outlandish and outrageous things just to get attention and probably have low self-esteem and low self-worth. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as like people romanticizing Jeffrey Dahmer, it's like, unfortunately, I'm not shocked, because people romanticized Ted Bundy and, you know, Richard Ramirez and all that stuff. So, doesn't make it right, but, you know, what are we gonna do? There are always gonna be weird people like that. But no, I do believe there is a romanticization when it comes to true crime. But here's my, because obviously he's played devil's advocate and all that stuff. I feel like when we do have these series, like documentaries, true crime documentaries, that sort of thing, when we have the ID channel, when we have the crime section within Netflix, and you know, them educating, for me, and I have to be on the defense of this. For me, it feels like they're more so educating the public, you know. I feel like they're educating the public. I feel like we do need to have the Jeffrey Dahmer documentaries. We do need to have the Richard Ramirez documentaries. We do need to have the Ted Bundy documentaries, because I feel like, and let's be very clear, in America right now, there are literally states that are banning books, right? They're banning books because, like, they feel like it's, oh my God, it's too woke, it's too this, it's too that. They don't want to teach us about our history. And at the end of the day, these people are a part of history. And unfortunately, a good amount of people get their information or education from movies, from TV shows, from documentaries, you know? So when someone sees something like a Dahmer series, because literally, let me tell you, when I saw the Dahmer series, and obviously I know about Jeffrey Dahmer, but when I saw the Dahmer series, you know what I did after that? I went to, you know, I went online. I went to see what was, you know, true, what was false, da da da. It made me go do my own research and educate myself. I feel like these kind of series do more good opposed to the bad. Obviously, we can talk about like fetishization, romanticization, and that sort of thing. But I feel like these sort of things, these documentaries and stuff like that, it does more educating, and it reminds the public to be wary of our surroundings. You know what I'm saying? And I also feel like, because, like, if we didn't tell these kind of stories, I feel like our society would still be gullible. You know, when you look at some of the things, like when you hear some of the things that, you know, Ted Bundy or Richard Ramirez or Jeffrey Dahmer did, how they were able to lure their victims, you know, obviously now in hindsight, we'd be like, yo, those people are gullible as hell. But it's because those stories are told that we're like, okay, we need to learn from how the victims were unfortunately led to that place, where it's like, okay, we need to be wary. We need to make sure that we're aware of our surroundings, and, you know, stranger danger. You know, don't open the door for strangers. Don't let anybody try to, you know, lure you to their car or that sort of thing. Or if you feel like, you know, you feel unsafe, always call 911. That's, for me, that is what the ID channel has done for me. That is what these like serial killer documentaries have done for me. It has made me more aware, you know, and even for my family, to remind them, like, hey, like, don't just be talking to, you know, strangers like that. Don't just be going into strangers' houses. Don't just be going into, you know, strangers' cars, someone who you don't know. So, I don't know. I feel like two things can be true at the same time, but I do feel like these true crime, you know, documentaries, even the YouTubers, I will say that, like, as much as it's kind of weird that, like, people, like, some of the YouTube makeup people be, like, doing their makeup while telling these true stories, because it's kind of, like, graphic and stuff like that, but I feel like it definitely educates more than it does more harm, right? So, I don't know. Tell me what y'all guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with me that these true crime documentaries are more educational and it gives more knowledge, or do you feel like it's just a glorification or a romanticization and a fetishization of these serial killers and these true crime documentaries? Do you think that our society is somewhat allured or finds these sort of things like beautiful or fascinating, that sort of thing? So please like, comment, subscribe. So what you guys think in the comment section below. Please share my video, okay, so we can get the discussion going, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, my